Some game, eh? Certain people, how are you all doing? And welcome back to another match reaction. It has finished at the Valley. Charlton Athletic 4. Rochdale 4. Yeah, I don't think anyone saw that one coming before the game started. Jesus Christ. An 8-goal thriller. 6 scored in the first half. Even though we done very well to come back in the second half and we played very, very well, this result against Rochdale is not one to scream and shout about. It is a bad result. It is a very, very bad result. So let's get straight into this match reaction. I'm going to try and not make it a rant this time because, quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of doing them now. So, as ever, we will start off with the two teams' lineups. Starting off with Charlton. Initially, I thought it was going to be a flat 4-4-2 for us. We were going to change from the 4-3-3 and go with 4 across the middle. Just a standard flat 4-4-2. And yeah, it was not that whatsoever. So, as usual, in goal was Ben Amos. It was a back five of Paul Smyth playing right wing back, Chris Gunter at centre-back with Pearce and Oshilaja and Maatsen as the left wing-back. The three in the middle were Addicks, Gilbey, Jake Forster-Caskey and Jonny Williams. And the front two was Chuks Aneke and Liam Millar leading the line in the centre this time rather than on the wing. And as for Rochdale, they did go with a flat 4-4-2. In goal, they had Gavin Bazunu, a back four of McLaughlin, McNulty, Roberts and Keohane. The midfield four were Beasley, Aaron Morley, Rathbone and Kwadwo Bar. And the front two was Matty Lund and Stephen Humphreys. Another prime example of Bowyer playing players out of position. Paul Smyth at right wing back. I'd like to know Bowyer's thinking behind that. I really do. Because I have absolutely no idea how you can put a striker / winger in a defensive position when you've got Gunter on the field and he's playing centre back. Gilbey starting. I didn't know what to think about that. I wasn't entirely sure about him starting because I think he was pretty poor against Accrington and he has been for quite a while. And even Liam Millar up front, I have that to question as well, considering we've got Washington, Bogle and Ronnie Schwartz. Ronnie Schwartz obviously wouldn't have started due to him not being fit enough yet. It did not work at all. It was an absolute catastrophe. It was a catastrophic disaster from start to finish. Rochdale must have taken a look at that lineup and gone, oh, quality, a striker / winger is playing at right wing back. Let's attack that right hand side and let's give them problems all game. And that's exactly what they did. They saw Paul Smyth there and took advantage of him. And it's not Paul Smyth's fault because he ain't a defender. Paul Smyth is not a defender, simple as that. And Rochdale took advantage of that and they absolutely killed us off. They absolutely ruined us. They took the lead through Matty Lund. They got the ball on the right hand side. Kwadwo Bar played in another player on the left hand side. There is 4 players in the middle marking 2 strikers. And then there's Matty Lund on the edge of the D, completely unmarked of all the time in the world. They pull it back to Lund. Lund has a first time shot off the post and in. Too easy. No one even got near him. No one got near him at all. Got skins too easy on the right hand side. 4 in the middle, not marking Lund whatsoever. 4 people marking 2 strikers. It's absolutely disgraceful defending. And it didn't get any better as Kwadwo Bar doubled Rochdale's lead again through the right hand side. Stephen Humphreys bombed down the middle, laid it off to Bar, who was completely unmarked. No one anywhere to be seen. Smyth was nowhere and unleashed an absolute cannon off the bar. It's a great strike. It is an absolutely astonishing strike, but an absolute gift of a goal because no one is man marking him on that right hand side. Absolutely no one. It is inexcusable defending. Charlton did get back into the game pretty much instantly through Chuks Aneke. He got the ball through Jonny Williams, got just within range of the 6-yard box and drilled it in the back of the net. A very typical Chuks goal. His first goal for the club while starting a game. He has scored every goal off the bench until now. Thank the Lord that Chuks is starting to score goals now while he's starting games because I've always said that he's a bit of an impact player. He doesn't really offer as much when he does start games, but thank God he got a goal because our attacking line really has been poor of late. So after Chuks got the goal, we're thinking, okay, now let's get back into this game. We should really be getting back into this and we need to be surging for the equaliser. And then Kwadwo Bar absolutely annihilated us down that right-hand side again. He picked up the ball. He was taking on Paul Smyth, absolutely glided past him like he wasn't even there. Gets in the penalty area, drills a shot into the far corner, bang, 3-1. And I just couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe how easy it was. It was just absolutely catastrophic defending. It was just terrible. Smyth on that right-hand side, there was nothing he could do because that's not his job. That's not his game. That shouldn't be his game. And he's been absolutely ripped a new one. Rochdale ripped us apart in that opening half hour. They absolutely bossed the game. Bowyer then realised that, okay, this isn't working, we're going to get embarrassed here. So he did eventually change to a 4-4-2. Smyth went to right mid, Gunter went to right back, Millar stayed up front. I was just thinking, this is game dead and buried now. There is no way we're going to come back. But we did come back. We did grab another goal, this time through Jake Forster-Caskey, his third of the season. He was credited with the goal, but it did take quite a bit of a deflection. Williams crossed the ball in, tried to find Aneke. Rochdale cleared it, straight to Forster-Caskey. Forster-Caskey tries to bend in a curling effort towards the far corner. He didn't put a lot of power in the shot at all, but he was helped by the deflection as Jim McNulty tried to jump up for the header. He's ended up heading it, getting a touch to it, and it curls into the far corner. So it's 3-2. Charlton again back in the game, and we're thinking, okay, now is the time to hit them. Now is the time to keep going and search for the equaliser. And once again, Rochdale's 2-goal lead was restored. Alex Gilbey put in a rash challenge on the edge of the area. Stephen Humphreys, the resulting free kick, absolutely wallops it past the wall into the back of the net. It is an absolute worldie. It is a worldie of a strike, and it's okay to concede a worldie now and again when you can't really do much about it. It's not okay when you've conceded 3 before that and they've been absolute gifts. You could even argue that the free kick was a gift through Gilbey's ill judgment and a defensive error. I could just do nothing but laugh at that point. I just could do nothing but laugh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. I honestly have never seen a defensive display as bad as that. I honestly think that was worse than the Burton Albion game. And I thought that would be hard to top. But I think that topped it. They took the piss, to be totally honest with you. Kwadwo Bar had a field day, and he is an unbelievable player. He's only 17, and he absolutely ripped us a new one. And I do feel sorry for Paul Smyth because there is nothing that he could do. Because he's not a defender. That's not his game. And I really would like to know what part of Bowyer's brain made him think that that was okay to do that. We're back to playing players out of position again. Why? What was you thinking behind it? And to be fair to Bowyer, he did take responsibility. He did say in the South London press that he made a mistake playing Smyth in that position. Fair play to Bowyer with that one because he is finally taking responsibility for his mistake. I genuinely think that is the very first time in his managerial career that he has taken responsibility for a mistake. We didn't really offer any attacking presence, I felt, apart from the goals that we scored. Every time we got back in the game, they would just get one back, and it was either through poor defensive errors, and then the fourth goal I felt was terrible judgment from Alex Gilbey, who, by the way, was absolutely useless. I think he was absolutely terrible. And rightly so, in the second half, he was subbed off, as was Paul Smyth, and they were relieved by Albie Morgan and Ronnie Schwartz. I felt Morgan should have started ahead of Gilbey anyway, and Ronnie Schwartz, it was the first proper time we'd see him get minutes, so I was excited to see him get games, and obviously we stuck with the 4-4-2. The first half was an absolute disaster. The second half, we have to say, was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Bowyer got it spot on. His substitutions were excellent. His switch of formation was brilliant, and Charlton eventually did get back into the game. Forster-Caskey punted it long towards Chuks Aneke. Aneke brings it down absolutely superbly. His control throughout the entire game was brilliant. Rochdale could barely keep hold of him. Lays it off to Schwartz. Schwartz takes his time, weighs up his option, lays it off to Gunter, who comes steaming in from the right-hand side. He crosses it in. It takes a little bit of a deflection, but it flies into Chuks Aneke's path, and he bashes a header into the back of the net for 4-3. An absolutely superb goal. Some really good football there. Chris Gunter was a shambles in the first half. He was absolutely terrible. I know he was playing out of position, but he was terrible. He was absolutely shocking. Second half, he improved massively. He was very, very good, and I will give him credit to that. It's a great pass from Schwartz, a superb cross from Gunter, helped out a little bit by the deflection, but a superb header from Chuks. His first brace in a Charlton shirt and his 8th goal of the League One season, his 9th in all competitions. And once again, we are back in the game and we're thinking, okay, now is the time to wake up and get an equaliser. And that is exactly what we did. Just like the AFC Wimbledon game, we scored 2 goals in quick succession And it was the Minister of Shooting himself, the Great Dane, Ronnie Schwartz, with his first goal for the club, and a very well taken goal. Chris Gunter put, I think it was Dooley or something like that, under pressure. He intercepted the ball. Johnny's then comes steaming in, plays the ball into Aneke. Aneke takes his time, lays it off to Schwartz. Schwartz hits it first time, an absolutely superb finish into the back of the net, and that is 4-4. The momentum was with us. It was with us, and we were thinking, okay, now let's try and search for the winner, and we very nearly got it seconds later. Cross come in from the left. Aneke gets his head to it, but he kind of stretches a bit too much and it flies over the bar. Very, very unlucky, and so close to getting that winner. And Charlton didn't let up. We did not let up whatsoever, and we were surging for that winner. Chuks Aneke looking for that elusive hat-trick. He gets put through literally one-on-one with Bazunu. He tries to place it into the far corner, and Bazunu gets down so well to parry it. It was an absolutely unbelievable save. Chuks really could have scored 5 in that second half. It could well have been 6 or 7-4. Jason Pearce received his marching orders for a second yellow card, and to be honest with you, it was a second yellow, you know. It was a free kick, I think, from the right-hand side. Aneke flicked it on. Bazunu's then come out to catch it. Pearce has gone for the ball, and he had to go for the ball to try and score. Bazunu gets there first. Pearce sticks a leg out to try and get the ball. Bazunu gets the ball first, and Pearce ends up connecting with his chest. And then the referee, Trevor Kettle, ended up sending him off, giving him his marching orders, which now means that we have only one available centre-back for the game against Bristol Rovers on Saturday, which is just what we need right now. As positive as the second half was, the result itself, a 4-4 draw with a club in the bottom 4, one of the worst teams in this league, is a bad result. It's as simple as that. It is a terrible result, and it is not something that we really should be celebrating over. We were the only game in action in League One tonight. It was a perfect opportunity to really catch up to our opponents. And we've dropped points again. And you now look at the table and you see everybody in the playoffs that has games in hand over us. I think the majority of them have about 2 games in hand on us. Accrington, who are, I think they're on the same amount of points as us, have 4 games in hand over us. So it really does show how we've missed out on opportunities. On social media, there has been a massive divide about Lee Bowyer. The fan base seems to be completely split in a massive debate, in a massive conflict and a massive argument in regards to Lee Bowyer, in regards to his situation. A lot of people want him in, a lot of people want him out. And as you would have seen from my Accrington Stanley reaction, it was a very raw reaction. It was a very explicit reaction straight after the game. After that game, I had time to think things over, and I writ something, and I writ a comment which I pinned, which you can still have a look at now to see what I said. And I'm basically just going to touch upon that now, because that comment is my view about the Bowyer situation. I think all fans are right to criticise Bowyer for the first half, because it was just an absolute shambles. I don't know what he was thinking playing Smyth at right wing back, playing Gunter at centre back, keeping Gilbey in the squad, starting Millar at striker. And it is a prime example of Bowyer's incompetent tactics that have, for the majority of this bad run, cost us. We cannot be conceding 4 at home, 4 to a relegation threatened team. Realistically, we should be turning them over. Bowyer did change it after the 3rd goal went into the 4-4-2, and that change worked. And you have to say, in the case of the Bowyer in argument, with the fans having the positive side of it, you have to say Bowyer did get it right. You have to say that. He did get it right. The change of formation, the substitutions of Morgan and Schwartz was absolutely fantastic. Him finally taking responsibility, hopefully, is a wake-up call. And another thing is that the theory that Bowyer has lost the dressing room is completely squashed now. Because if he had well and truly lost the dressing room, the players would not have fought back in the way they did in the second half. If he had well and truly lost the dressing room, the players would have played the exact same way they did against Accrington. They would have shown no fight, no passion, no desire. We can be lethal going forward. And honestly, with a performance like that in the second half, we're not all that far away. We're not all that far away from getting it spot on. All we need is the likes of Famewo, Shinnie and Innis to get back, and we'll be looking alright again. We will be looking fine. Remember the season we got promoted? From December to January onwards, we went on a really poor run. And then from the turn of February, we absolutely pissed the league. We absolutely ran riot. Lost only one game, I think it was, during that period. Absolutely flew past everyone. Who's to say that we can't do that again? And I think that this team, judging by that performance in the second half last night, and through the 8-game unbeaten run and going 8 hours without conceding a goal, our team can do that. It is capable of doing that. I can understand both arguments. I love Bowyer. I've said it so many times. I love the man. And I would love him to lead us on this journey. However, he does need to be questioned. Question marks do need to be raised. We can't be drawing 4-4 at home to Rochdale, to be honest with you. We can't be doing that. But what I will say is, and I said this in my pinned comment, I think Bowyer deserves the chance to put his plans into motion that he, Gallen and Sandgaard has. He has plans for January, so let's let him do it. Let's see what he can do. I don't know about any other Charlton fan, but me personally, I'm willing to be patient. I am willing to be patient and wait it out and see what he can do. I want to see who he brings in January. I want to see what he can do when Shinnie, Famewo, Innes and all those key players come back. But if we don't get promoted, then maybe it is something to consider. Maybe it is something to consider, a change of management. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But I think that most of the fan base needs to understand that people are allowed opinions and you shouldn't be slagging people off for it. And I'm talking mainly to the people that are 100% Bowyer in and completely defend Bowyer. You know, they're turning against the people that are Bowyer out. They're saying, oh, you're not a Charlton supporter, and just abusing people. I'm not Bowyer's biggest fan at the moment, and I will call him out. And I think it is right to call him out, because that first half was unacceptable. And the performances of late have been mainly down to his inept and naive tactics. So we are right to criticise him. That doesn't make us not fans. We can't be having 2 wins out of 11 when we're fighting for promotion. We can't be doing that. Question marks have to be raised. But, however, I'm willing to be patient. I am willing to be patient. I'm willing to stick with Bowyer to see what he can do. I want to, and I will have hope and faith that Bowyer will turn this around. And I'm willing to see if he can do that. If he can't, and we miss out on the playoffs, or we don't get promoted, it's something to consider. It is. That's the end of this match reaction. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on the post notifications so you're notified of when I post. Thank you all so much for 2,700 subscribers. We hit it last night, and it's absolutely insane. We are only 300 or so away now from 3,000 subs. If we could get to that very soon, that would be absolutely awesome. Yeah, I'd like to know you guys' opinion. Where do you stand on the game? What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. And where do you stand with Lee Bowyer? Are you Bowyer in or you Bowyer out? I know I'm on the fence, and I know most people will have a go at me. I can just see and understand both points of the argument, and I can agree with both. Thank you very much for watching this video. This has been Tyler Rowlinson. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all later.